Raw data is useless if you can't summarize it. In SQL, aggregation helps you to turn thousands of rows into a meaningful insight. So imagine where you have thousands of rows, but all you need is just maybe the total average or count. You will need aggregation functions to get the answer that you need. So in a summary, I can say that aggregation in SQL simply is the use of the total, is the use of function like total, average, max, mean to summarize your data. It is the process of turning multiple rows of data into a single meaningful result. So in aggregation, we are going to be looking at some of the functions like count, sum, average, mean, max, group by, round, distinct, format, and so many others. So without wasting much time, I would solve examples. If you have been following my video, you will know when I uploaded these already existing tables and files into my database, and I'm still using them to solve the same problem. So if you need this file and you want to learn along with me, you can DM me. I will send the file for you. Then following my tutorial, you can get the same thing I'm doing. All right, so let's solve the first question. We have some questions here, and it says, how many A and B listing are there in the Seattle? So we are going to find how many of these listings do we have in Seattle. Seattle is a location, so we just want to find how many listings there are there. We are going to use a count distinct. We are going to use count to see what exactly we have in Airbnb. Then we narrow down to distinct counting. So let's solve the first. If you select all count, I'm counting all. So I'm using asterisk from Airbnb listing 2. Okay, good. Let me make it better like this. Let's see how many we have. We have about 6,442. So we want to know how distinct. We want to know how many of them are in Seattle, and we are going to use distinct now, because when we use all, most of them might be, when we just count everything, most of them might be duplicated. So we are going to use the ID column to count, because ID is usually a unique identifier in a table. So let's select everything again. Let me just copy. Control Z. Copy. Then I'll come here and change the equation. Instead of just having count, instead of having all here, I'm going to do distinct ID, so that it will give me a unique count without duplication. So let's see how many this one will give us. It gave us 6,150. If you look at this place, there's no name. I could write here as, that's when as comes in, as a listing, as count list, count listings, so that this will give my table a name. Let me run it again. You see that I will now have count listing. All right, so that's the first question. Then the second question is a compare. We're going to compare the average price of the listing in different neighborhood. There are different neighborhood in this Seattle. We are going to count how many of them, and using that we are going to select neighborhood is what we are referring to, so it's supposed to be selected. Then comma average price. We're looking at average price, so AVG into price, close. Now we're going to give it as, because if I don't put as, the column header will be empty, as average underscore price. Okay, from Airbnb listing 2. Okay, now if I run this, it will give me an error because I did not add a group by. So let me explain. We are going to be adding a group by. We use group by whenever we introduce average or max. We just want to know how many they are in total. So it helps you to get the result per category, not a single result. So we're going to be grouping all the neighborhoods and find the average price of each of the neighborhood. So remember, we have a lot of them. So let me group it by neighborhood so that we will understand what I'm talking about. So let's play this now. Can you see that the average price is, see how the neighborhood, we have about 88 of them. We Stevens, we have 222 and all of that. So group by will help you find the total average in different category. All right. So let's go to the next question, which is find the highest and the lowest price among all the listings. So we're going to use the max and the mean to get the highest and the lowest. So let's select, okay, let's do this first one first. Select max, price as highest price. Then mean bracket price as lowest price underscore price. Okay, from Airbnb, listing two. So let's run this. Could you see that we have the highest price as 9,000 and the lowest price as low as 10. So what we're going to do now, we're going to add to this equation by grouping it into neighborhood so that we'll see the highest neighborhood, the highest listing price in neighborhood and the lowest price. So I'm going to add under my select, I'm going to beside my select, I'm going to add neighborhood, comma. Then after I'm done, I'm going to group by going to group it by neighborhood. Let's see. Let me see how it's gonna look like. Good. Can you see that in Stevens, we have the highest price to be 956 and the lowest price to be 52. Now let's order it by lowest price. Let's kind of sort in Excel. So let's sort by lowest price. Let's see how it looks like. Execute. Can you see the neighborhood with lowest price is central business distance? So we have sorted them by lowest price. So that is the use of order by. Either I order it as highest or I order it as lowest. So I hope you're following. So let's have the last question, which is find the total revenue generated by all listing. Okay, we're going to be using price table now. So but before we use it, let's select all in the price table so that we'll see how the table looks like. Pricing two. So let's see how this is what we are looking at. So we want to find the total price. All this price here, this column, we want to find the total price here. So the question is simple. The syntax is simple. We'll just write select sum, then into brackets, then as total price. Remember, if I don't put as, let me type in as total price. If I don't put this as total underscore price, my column will not have heading from Airbnb pricing. So if I run this equation of this syntax, you're going to get the total, which is this. Remember in Excel, we used to do formatting where this number can be separated with commas. So looking at it now, you cannot really read it at a glance. So I want to introduce formats into this so that it can separate it by, this is a pro tip, it can separate it for us with a comma so that at a glance, we are going to see. So I put formats in before the price, then open a bracket, put the price equation, then I'll put n in apostrophe in quotes. This n is the syntax, sorry, in single quotes. Is the syntax that will separate this for us. So let's run this equation again and see what will happen here. execute. Incorrect. Okay, let's see where the error is coming from. Okay, I did not put comma here. Supposed to put comma. Yeah, comma. So let's run it again. It's going to give us a very clean answer. Can you see that we now have 210,830 $210,830,085. Can you see the importance of this format N? It says to separate the aggregate or the sum total. So having seen all of this, we have come to the end of our aggregate function, and I hope you learned something. Thank you for watching to the end. Please like, subscribe, and follow me for more tutorial like this. See you in my next video. Bye.